Carnivores, you are not healthier in any way because you cut out fruits and vegetables. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And if you guys would, please remember to click like down below. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you are not following or subscribed, please do so and drop me a comment with your thoughts down below, or even just to say hello. I would greatly appreciate that. Yes, this is one of these topics I'm going to harp on over and over and over because the problem is this is the single most dangerous, insane, ridiculous idea that has ever hit the fitness world as a fad. And it has such a militant following that the people are in complete denial of it. And that's the scary part, is that they're ignoring the fact that their heroes are having to all stop doing this. All right, so it's like this idea they have that, or you must be against red meat, or you must be a vegan if you think our diet's insane. It's like, no, I'm against you not eating vegetables and fiber. And what these people forget, they always bring up nonsense like, well, I've got some IBS or I have these other problems because I ate a really bad American diet. And instead of following the standard protocols to get their gut ready to handle the higher fiber, because maybe they do have some gut issues because they've went on a really low fiber diet too long because they lived on McDonald's hamburgers or something, and just garbage. That, yeah, they do have some issues with their gut biome, or they do have some IBS. So they're just like, well, so vegetables tear my stomach up, so I quit and I went to this route. Well, that's insane. And by that same token, people will defend this stuff and so they'll say, well, it's an elimination diet. So you take all the vegetables out and then you add back in. Like, no, that is not how an elimination diet works. If you honestly think the carnivore method is an elimination diet that registered dietitians approve of, is how an elimination diet is done, that is a profoundly ignorant statement. That is not how it's done. They take out individual things to test for intolerances and problems. It would be something like take out all nightshades, or take out all of certain types of vegetables that have a very high sulfur content. All right, do you understand this is what an elimination diet does if they suspect there's something that has an issue? So when someone says, oh, I did it as an elimination diet, no, you didn't. You did it as some crazy carnivore stuff that has nothing to do with a medical elimination diet, and you don't even know what an elimination diet is. That's what you did. All right. So it's the problem with this idea is that they're literally thinking, oh, I'm healthier because I removed all these antioxidants and phytonutrients. Well, that's a problem, guys. Like, this is not based on reality. And there is no conspiracy by Big Vegetable to convince you to eat broccoli and spinach. All right, we need to be clear on that. There is no international conspiracy by Big Broccoli and Big Spinach to convince you to eat vegetables and to cook the scientific books to get you to do so. All right, just wow. That's like where they go almost with it. But the simple fact of the matter is, without getting into all the other issues, we don't need to discuss the LDLC, the atherosclerosis, any of that. Like, that's a whole separate topic, because then we go down a rabbit hole and these people argue with that as their point, and they ignore the bigger picture, which is literally taking the vegetables out, taking out the fiber. So even if we want to make an argument towards lipid profiles and calcification of arteries, the most cardioprotective foods you could eat would be the actual fruits and vegetables. Okay? So if a person were eating a diet that was prone to causing these other issues, you would get a protective element from the vegetables. Again, one reason I don't always have a big issue with ketogenic type diets. If someone wants to eat 2 pounds of sirloin steak every day or some flank steak on a lower carb approach, they probably, in many cases, get away with it without major health issues. They probably can, especially because most people who follow those sort of diets generally hammer down the vegetables, right? They're knocking down the low-carb green vegetables. Things like broccoli, things like spinach, things like avocados. The cardioprotective benefits of those foods are massive. Okay, so if we do have concerns over the stearic acid in the beef, the specific form of saturated fatty acid they're concerned with, to be fair, the vegetables can offset that. And especially if you're not eating a bunch of refined sugars and all that other garbage with it, and you're eating a large amounts of these leafy green or cruciferous vegetables, yeah, you're going to get a pretty significant cardiovascular protective effect from this, right? This is certainly, I'm still going to say, way, way healthier than a standard American diet by any metric. Okay, so that's the problem. They're removing these beneficial foods. They're also creating situations to where, just like the standard American diet can do it sometimes, if people live on nothing but fast food and no fiber, yes, we develop GI tract issues. We know that it's from the lack of fiber. Okay, and as far as the gut flora goes, yes, this will affect neurotransmitters in your brain. It's going to affect a lot of hormones in your body in a negative manner. Okay, it's going to affect your immune system. And just because you do it for a while, people are like, well, what if it doesn't work out? I can just go back to eating these things. Well, the problem is now your body really doesn't handle them. You just did 3 or 4 years with pretty much zero fiber and vegetables. Okay, you're going to have a major gut biome imbalance. So when you realize you do need to consume these things, it's a problem. And we saw that with Paul Saldino, didn't we? Right? Remember when he put out his whole carnivore diet book, he turned out while the book was being published, getting ready to publish, he had to quit doing the diet because the health effects of eating no fiber, no fruits, no vegetables started negatively affecting his health, his blood work, and he realized it as a medical doctor. He went ahead and published the book. Okay, so people need to understand your heroes and experts who've been pimping this stuff are having to back off on it. They did it for a long time and they started having problems. Like, again, anyone telling you fruits and vegetables, particularly the vegetables, I get it, some people don't want that many carbs for whatever reason. There are legitimate cases for that sometimes. So they don't want the fruits, okay. But the vegetables, you have to be kidding me. Insanity. The data is overwhelming showing the health benefits of vegetables. And everything from cardiovascular to reducing cancer and everything else. Again, we know this. High vegetable intake is absolutely linked to longevity, and most of the problems, all these fears they have from vegetables, with anti-nutrients and things, go away as soon as you start cooking them. And they're not always valid concerns, but different ones have been noted in the literature. Actually, just cooking them, this becomes something that is not an actual real concern. And this is what the best experts and scientists say about it. Yeah, there is some truth that humans do handle cooked foods for most of our food better. There is truth to that, and we do see that with our gut, okay? But to then eliminate all of them because you have some problems with some raw broccoli instead of just steaming it or cooking it, and all the health consequences people are going to have is insane. No, you're not making yourself healthier. You are making yourself sick. Even if you eliminated the other bad stuff and you temporarily are feeling better, you are going to get sicker as a result of this in the long term. And the consequences may not be reversible. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.